So we're desensing him to audience as normal. Heather, do you want me? I'll turn my mic off so that Heather can talk a little bit about them.
Come up here. There you go. This is Newman. He's a Southern Ground Hornbill. He's 20 years old. He was hand-raised in SeaWorld San Antonio, Texas. So as you're going to see right now, he's going to try and give that food to Billie Jean, or you guys. He is very much imprinted on us, which just means that since he was hand-raised, he doesn't know how to hornbill. He knows how to human hornbill. So he always wants to give us his treats, which is very sweet. These guys are natural diggers, so that is why he's kind of smashing on the box. They love to dig and root around. That's how they found a lot of grubs that they eat. But they also eat any small animals, birds, little mammals, things like that. These guys are found where it's really hot in Africa, so they're built pretty cool for life in Africa. He's got these amazing eyelashes. You guys can probably see it out there. Those eyelashes are kind of like us wearing a visor for the sun, so it protects his eyeballs from the sun, which is pretty cool. And then the fleshy part of red right around his eyes is so that when he's eating, the dust and stuff doesn't get in his eyes, and in his mouth and in his nose. And then of course this attractive little thing, it looks like a gobbler, yeah. That's where they make a big booming sound. It's pretty cool. And that gets really red when they mature, which is around 8 to 10 years of age. And they are so loud when they're chatting with one another, especially in the morning, you can hear them up to 4 miles away, which is pretty cool. They'll actually kind of warn other animals that predators are nearby, like lions. So animals definitely pay attention when they hear hornbills making their boom sound. They make all sorts of sounds, but that particular boom they're kind of known for. They live in family groups like us. They're gonna have a mom and dad and kids. And they love to be on the ground, as you can see, like his name, but they are good flyers. He has a pretty impressive wingspan, kind of like Panama, about 6.5 feet. Females tend to be a little bit bigger, and the way you could tell if it was a female is that red part would actually have kind of a purple tint to it. And they kind of run the troop, so they're in charge, the girls. Yeah. What are you doing, Nooms? Did you eat your hamburger?
And we weren't stopping him. He was having the food, right? We just don't want him rehearse jumping off stage because he's actually super friendly.
You come up
so
here?
It's not that he's being aggressive. It's just he wants to get closer to you. Thank you.
There you go.
And so this is a training session, and I mean he's only been out here a couple of times with guests.
Good job. Yeah.
And Heather's been working nonstop with her relationship. So you can see
Good job.
he finally, went up to the box, calmed down. He ate his food, right? So she's giving him tactile, which is also reinforcing to this animal because as she talked about, he is imprinted. So he enjoys being touched, especially by her.
Yeah, he'd hang out with us all day if he could.
Yes, he could.
I think Panama too. Guys, any questions?
Do you have any questions? Do we have mates for him?
Oh, no, that's a funny thing you asked. So Mr. Newman here was on The Bachelor for the last 15 years or so at Brevard Zoo, about an hour from here. He was basically on a breeding loan. And he said no thank you to all his eligible ladies. He just, like I said, doesn't know how to hornbill, unfortunately. So they were like, well, we're gonna try a different boy, and SeaWorld, you guys can have him back. So we got him instead of Texas, which we're really happy about, because he's amazing. These guys have a hard time raising chicks. They'll have 1 to 3 eggs only every 9 years. They're still kind of doing studies about exactly why, but their reproduction rate is just really low. And then they, for whatever reason, especially, well, in Africa for sure with food, but just in general, they really only will take care of the first one hatched. So they are an endangered species just because they don't populate very well. And so his parents in particular didn't want to raise him at all. So that's why he was raised by the keepers there in San Antonio. But it's pretty cool. There's a program in Africa at Kruger National Park that we have participated in years past. And they will go out and get the second egg and they will raise that chick. But they will do it, if you guys ever seen like the condors, right, in California, and they feed them with a puppet. Same concept, so they'll go out there, they'll take the second egg after the parents have the first one to raise, and then they'll raise that second chick and then reintroduce it to its troop when it's ready to go. So they're helping build that population back up in Kruger. It's really cool. So.
And birds are like the #1 species to imprint. So, you know, it's important that if you do find a bird that needs help, that you find that licensed rehabilitator.
You're gonna take it to the nice people? Okay.
A lot of people will take them into their home, and then they can't be released back into the wild.
Good job. Good job. I know. It's hard to not share, huh? There you go. Good job. They are the largest hornbill species. You'll often see smaller guys, especially in aviaries at zoos. We have a couple smaller ones over at Discovery Cove. This is the only one that really spends most of its time on the ground. And that's his big old ear right there, which is kind of fun. Whoop. I know I showed him where your ear was.
And he's really comfortable out here, so it's almost like we just need to keep, you know, building. You saw in the beginning and how he is now. So
Good job.
no longer trying to jump off stage, feed everybody. Hopefully, if you come back, you know, and visit us in the future, you'll be able to see him in the show. The hardest part is going to be him going home. He likes being out here, so. Which he has a fantastic habitat, by the way. So.
Yummy.
Nice.
Okay.
That's nice.
No, I want to feed you. Here, Billie Jean. You look hungry.
So the reason why I'm turning my back is because I am one of his keepers. I don't want to reinforce him bringing that
Good
to
job.
me. You know, it's not. I'm not doing anything negative. I'm just not reacting to that. I'm not giving him eye contact.
So, have you ever gotten
Newman. Well, all animals have that potential. All animals do. But as keepers, as caretakers, we try not to have our animals get to that point. That means they're frustrated. We don't want that. We don't do that. But we always keep our distance.
Oh, you're showing how impressive you are.
Yeah. And let us know if you would like us to bring out the big kennel so it's like where it was this morning for the first session.
Yeah, we can.
I guess it would depend how he would
Just
react.
gonna get your wire.
I could slowly bring it out.
Yeah, we can try.
Okay.
How long does it take to get them like stage ready?
It depends. It depends if we're working with a completely naive, like young animal. He has 20 years of good and bad habits that we're working against. Being that he was on The Bachelor, he was in the African savannah at Brevard Zoo, so he wasn't a presentation animal like he is now, but that's originally what he was trained for in San Antonio. So he kind of just got to, you know, run around, look at the people all day, talk to the ladies if he wanted to, all that fun stuff. But they are very inquisitive, very smart, can get bored very easily. So he is one that does want to learn. He seems like he gets super excited. It's almost like we can give him like puzzle. You know how you give feeding puzzles like dogs?
Yeah.
If they have tons of energy, these are the kind of animals that love that stuff too. So we just have to keep him like thinking about new stuff. And we're trying to always think of new stuff to entertain him as well, which he can always be one step ahead of us. Funny fact, he loves his tent so much that it's closed because he tries to go in there and take a nap.